Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, General Yeager sues Airbus, massive New York City TFR implemented, and DVIDS steps back on Area 51 stealth threat. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I'm your host, Sophie Hurlock. General Yeager, the retired U.S. Air Force pilot who broke the sound barrier, is suing Airbus because he believes they used his name and reputation without his permission to promote the Airbus racer. The lawsuit filed last week refers to the general as one of the most, if not the most famous pilots of all time. Yeager and his lawyer have objected to a website article published back in June of 2017, which refers to Yeager's mock-busting history, while also indicating their intention to make the Airbus racer a fast new generation of aircraft. And while it may seem like Airbus just published materials related to Yeager's well-known history, his legal team sees it as a false endorsement, something Yeager had previously asked for $1 million, as well as a number of legal restrictions to undertake. In the past several years, Yeager has been involved in a number of legal exchanges with a number of people and companies in the aviation community. We will keep you updated as the case moves forward.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Finally, a modern, affordable four-seater without compromise. Turbocharged Rotax 915 IS power, 155-knot cruise, 800 nautical mile range, 1,000 feet per minute climb, and all that at 8 gallons per hour. Don't compromise. Check out the Sling TSI today at airplanefactory.com.
Now let's take a quick look at some interesting news flying out of the aviation industry and today's trip around the patch. Mitsubishi Aircraft Corporation announced plans to establish a footprint in the Montreal region of Quebec, Canada. Having launched the Mitsubishi SpaceJet family of aircraft earlier this year and opened a U.S. headquarters in Renton, Washington, the company is now looking to prepare for the next phase of its global growth. In its first year in the Montreal area, Mitsubishi Aircraft Corporation intends to create around 100 jobs focused on certification and entry into service of the Mitsubishi SpaceJet products. When Leslie Hurlock joined the Army, she was too short to join the military police. But several years later, sitting in the cockpit of an AH-64 Apache attack helicopter, she can be as tall as she wants. Back in 1993, Hurlock was one of the first women to take to the skies after Congress lifted a restriction keeping women from flying combat helicopters. She learned to fly using instruments, tactic, and night vision goggles. She trained on simulators and in TH-67 training helicopters, Huey utility helicopters, and OH-58 Kiowa utility choppers. After getting their wings, graduates were asked to select the helicopters they most wanted to fly. Hurlock selected the Apache, and based on her grades and performance, she got her wish. NASA awarded a $13.7 million contract to Advanced Space of Boulder, Colorado to develop and operate a CubeSat mission to the same lunar orbit targeted for Gateway, an orbiting outpost astronauts will visit before descending to the surface of the moon, and a landing system as part of NASA's Artemis program. The Cis-Lunar Autonomous Positioning System Technology Operations and Navigation Experiment is expected to be the first spacecraft to operate in a near-rectilinear halo orbit around the moon. EAA Vice President of Advocacy and Safety Sean Elliott was named industry co-chair of a congressionally mandated FAA working group tasked with designated pilot examiner reform. Congress has directed the group to review how the FAA selects, trains, and deploys DPEs with a goal towards ensuring there are enough DPEs active nationwide to serve the need of applicants, flight schools, commercial operators, and all other players in the industry. We'll be right back with the rest of the news.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Today is a new dawn.
With a new name.
Un nuevo logotipo.
A new factor.
Und einem globalen Kundenfokus.
We are Continental Aerospace Technologies, and we stand behind you.
General aviation pilots flying in the New York and the New Jersey metropolitan area should check to make sure they are aware of the temporary flight restrictions that will be in place until September 29th for the 74th session of the UN General Assembly. The FAA is also advising drone pilots the airspace within the TFR area will be a no-drone zone at the same time. The FAA, federal law enforcement agencies, and the Department of Defense will closely monitor the airspace for unauthorized operation. They may take action against drones operating in the no-drone zone that are deemed a credible safety or security threat. The TFR started at 8 a.m. Saturday, September the 21st, and will end at 5 p.m. September the 29th. The FAA strongly advises pilots to check regularly for the NOTAM since the FAA expects to issue numerous notices at different times during the period that the TFR is in effect. A tweet by the Defense Visual Information Distribution Service made in reference to the Storm Area 51 event showed a picture of military personnel lined up in front of a B-2 bomber with a message that read, "The last thing #millennials will see if they attempt the Area 51 raid today." The attempt at humor was seen as a threat by many on Twitter, and the Department of Defense has since taken the tweet down and posted an apology stating, "Last night, a DVIDS hub employee posted a tweet that in no way supports the stance of the Department of Defense. It was inappropriate, and we apologize for this mistake." DVIDS is a military organization that offers graphics and information about defense matters to the media 24/7. And that's it for our show today. As always, don't forget to subscribe and please check us out on Twitter and on Facebook. To stay up to date on the latest aviation aerospace news, just head over to aero-news.net. I'll see you tomorrow.